This is Harry Gines. Case number 1099-255. We're addressing some issues today after the 2017 Black History Month. The issue that I've always said was my number one concern, like many others before me, as far as being in the civil rights movement whatsoever. Those ones before me had issues with black on black violence. Those were the issues that they've always had. So this is nothing new. I'm not trying to say I'm coming with nothing new. In fact, I really don't focus my presentations off things being new. It's been around, but yet when we address it, it's not getting any results. That is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes things need to be brought to the forefront or amended. That is what I'm looking to do. I'm not saying everything I bring to you is something you may have heard or may not have heard, but it needs to be results behind. The Million Man March, let's just bring it fast forward, was a successful venture of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan had an ingenious idea. I mean, just to even think that someone could duplicate anything, any feat that Martin Luther King had done. Again, nothing new. But this time, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came with 1,000,000 men to bring a message about black on black violence. That's what the Million Man March was about. The gathering, the fellowship, all very successful. He must go in history for that. This is not to bring anything negative about the legacy of Louis Farrakhan. No, this has nothing to do with trying to tarnish that, his efforts or whatever. Nothing like it. Don't analyze things. But like I said, if there's anything I can come behind to add to get some results from what the Million Man March was intended for, that is a good aim for anybody and everybody to try to latch on to bring forth those things that will make a difference within black on black violence. It's ranging out of control. And it's been that way now since the beginning of the 21st century and towards the end of the 20th century. The 21st century is having some baggage brought into it that, man, we need to get past these emotions that spring forth senseless violence. The violence is the emotions are just ranging out of control. People are killing in manners that they feel is something that needs to be dealt with ultimate. Make no doubt, that is the ultimate. And violence is to take another life. Now, when you really weigh up the act versus what brought forth the emotions to carry out the act, let's literally look at that. Look at that act that could trigger a person to commit a killing of another black man. See, you don't want to kill. Look, even the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." I can't change none of that. That's what it says. So as far back as man can reach, the good attribute always said, "Thou shalt not kill." And there's a good reason for that. Yes, man does have a soul, and you will be plagued, yes, with the act of committing murder that will haunt you for the rest of your life. And when we start to look at it from a judicial and a penal law, you really don't win whatever you was trying to set out to do by taking that life. You know, how is it possible that this, what we now are in the midst of, when we've had, again, we've had good guidance as to improve on our conduct towards each other, the fellowships, the love for each other, the times that we have to be more than just trying to kill. That's all we do. Every day across America, a black man is killing another black man. This is every day. I mean, if you had it on news, it's to the point where the news, mainstream news, they don't even want to televise it. It's just so much. It takes a multiple killing to get their attention. You know, that's how much killing it is. The killing is to the point where, if you compared it to wars, black people in the United States are killing each other in sheer numbers, more than what happens if you were engaged in an actual war. Yes, across the country, make no doubt. I mean, the yearly total from major city to major city is easy. It's easy to come up with the numbers being in the hundreds. Okay, those hundreds in every major city equal thousands. Thousands of black men are killed every year, in the thousands, by another black man. Now that black man also, his life also comes to an end or a change within his life, because now he comes into the judicial system, leading him into the penal system, where he will remain for a long time. Okay? In chasing that time being served through incarceration, the numbers are very high for a black man to kill another black man. That number's real high. In the past, you could kill a black man and get 8 years, do 3.5, and you back out on the street. That's long been changed, but it's not being a deterrent as it thought it would be. You see, I'm not even really looking at that so much as being a deterrent, as I'm trying to get just some love and some care to not commit the act. See, we got to get to the point of not doing, because once you've done it, however the laws may be structured from the past to the present is what you're going to have to deal with. Make no doubt. Me dropping and mentioning about the past is only trying to show you that the deterrent doesn't really work. That's the only reason I'm mentioning that. Because again, in the early days, okay, of the 20th century, you will find that in taking a life of a black man didn't amount to a great number within the penal system. Like I said, do 8 years, 3.5, you back out on the street. And guess what? Might even do it again. Yeah, it was some cats out back in the day had an ugly rap. You know, yeah, ugly rap. Maybe 2, 3 killings under their belt, notched on their pistol. Make no doubt to that. And I'm not going to name drop those ones. You know, I'm not going to name drop those ones. They know who they be. Yeah, 2, 3 notches. You know, and people knew who they was, but yet always found themselves interacting with somebody who knew what the ultimate consequences could be. He ain't had no problem with that. You know, if you cross them like that. So, what we need to recognize is we don't want this to be a matter of just gunplay. We want this to be a matter of understanding not to. See, not to. Don't put people in that position to keep putting notches on their pistol. You know, don't do that. No, that's not necessary. You know, recognize who is who. Yeah, that's very important. Get out people's way. Yeah, get out people's way. Because the law right now, in trying to save you from engaging in those type of activities, the law right now will put you away a very long time for even in possession of any kind of a firearm, unregistered. What city you in doing that? See, because you'll get lost just with an unregistered weapon. You ain't even used it. You see what I'm saying? So some people, like I said, stay out of people's way. I can't change the law. People, guns are legal. For some people, if you're not a felon, you ain't supposed to have no gun as a felon. Everybody know that. But guns are legal, and there are people who have guns. Yes, they are. I've seen and read the Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking of protecting your family. The law is not against you in matters of protection. It is a defense, protection of a third party. You see, but that has to be within the circumstances. You just can't go gunning on nobody. No, you can't do that. What kind of protection, or in other words, how could you have avoided the situation? So you must be in imminent danger to be able to say, I'm protecting someone. Make sure you understand the full realm of protection of a third person. Okay? Not just because later on, he gonna sit up here and realize that he's out here in these streets doing whatever he wants to do. Okay? Whatever he want to do. Because he feels, because he has a gun, he's able to walk the streets and do as he wants, and everybody's supposed to part. All that's going to take is to run into the guy that ain't going to move that easy. That's all it's going to take. If you're in the midst of living that kind of life, what are your values? That's my only question, because if you don't have no values for life, sooner or later, you're going to meet up with that ultimate person that feels the same way you do. It ain't going to move. See, now you have conflict. You don't know how to resolve conflict. Every time you have conflict, you feel you need to gun up on somebody. No, you don't. See, no, you don't have to do that. No, like I just explained, it's no harm in ducking. People say, I ain't ducking nothing. You're going to duck something. You're going to duck something. And you're going to learn to duck something. That's how you have to be if you try to survive on the streets. See, I can't change everything, but don't make no excuses. When you throw your life away, you also taking someone else's life who may not wanted that, who may not have even been involved in the situation. You see, it's so many. As he said, the bullet ain't got no eyes. I mean, are you really good at what you're trying to do? People just gunning down in the middle of streets. I mean, come on, man. What was it that brought the worst out you like that? That's insanity. Your race, I mean, you're just a disappointment of your race. Yes, you're a disappointment of your race that you ain't got no more swag than to get around somebody. I don't need to prove I'm a man. I'm very masculine. I don't look, I don't need to prove anything. These things are just not for show. Back in the day, which I always refer to, the Black Panther Party, they taught self-defense. Ain't nothing wrong with a boy, having it out after school. But see, now, they got police all at the school, and you made it maybe bigger than what it really was. Boys do fight. Brothers fight. Yeah, that's part of it. Being a man growing up in the 21st century is far different than growing up in the 20th century. Far different. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't any shootings back then. I'm not saying that. Yes, but not necessarily every time I want to take your coat or take your hat, or even take your shoes, that I felt I needed to kill you to do something like that. No, you gon', like I said, know the values. If your shoes are more valued than thinking that someone is in front of you, being a bad guy, wants what you got, no, get up. Chalk it up to the game. I mean, hey, you caught me sleeping, whatever the case may be, chalk it up to the game. Don't put your life in a position where, you one-on-one with somebody, and one-on-one with somebody's telling you, up it. And you feel you want to get brave all of a sudden. Was that value really that important? Of holding on to that coat, those shoes? Everybody got to chalk some things up to the game once in a while. Okay, it happens. But as the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." Never lose sight of that. But all I can give it to you is from a street point of view. You know, and that the killing and the work that Louis Farrakhan has done in his legacy is just a shame, man. That we can't do no better. We can do better than that by him. He's deserving. I watch Black History Month. I don't see anybody speaking in favor of the work that he's done. I'm going to always rely back on my elder to keep me on a straight path, and a righteous path. You have to have something to hold on to that is righteous. Otherwise, we'd be doing this thing, backwards. We don't want to do things backwards. That's not good. That's not good at all. You want to be able to keep positive things, and killing is nothing positive in that. What promoted you to do something in your thought that that's what you had to do? I want to get back to the results and the origin that brought you to this act. I want to know. So, with that being said, always listen to your elders because they have good things for you, maybe said differently, but if you listen to it, you might be able to survive what's happening out here. Okay? And this is the presentation. If you look at it and do a study, you will see that there was less killing in the 20th century, and at the course that you own right now in the 21st century, you're killing like you're at war with each other. Okay, those are the numbers that I remember. Those are some very big numbers on a daily basis across this country. Murder after murder. But all senseless violence when you get through with it. I remember back in the day, I'll tell you one story, and how senseless it is. The National Food Store chain went under in St. Louis because they came in and robbed the National Food Store. So out of all the senseless violence that you can come up with, right? This man then got in the National Food Store and killed a half dozen people to get what he wanted. Okay, but when you think about it, everybody said, well, if you have to kill like this, and that what you was after was money, the bank was right across the street. So why would you come into just a place of business where people frequent, for their nourishments? Why would you come to a place like that and be that type of guy that's capable of killing a dozen people for some money? Well, if you really wanted some money, the bank was right across the street. So it's hard to rationalize some things. And that's a true story. That's a St. Louis crime story. True. So when you go through these things and you see all this coming up and recognizing, and then you want somebody to be, peaceful, you can be peaceful. You can be. But you're going to have to find out that when an elder is trying to give you something to change, that is important. He sees something in you, but change is hard. But you're going to have to get with that change, make no doubt. Now, I'm going to leave y'all with that thought because, like I say, all this killing, is wars that I have been part of. That I don't even see the senselessness in connecting the killing the way you're killing with what I had to go through. I don't see the connection, but the numbers are there. You're at war, whether you realize it or not, by your numbers. Look, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to come back at you. I am. I promise you this. This is going to have to stop because I can't walk around with this type of killing around me, and then don't blame me. You killing like you at war. Are you really at war? You act like you at war with a black man. I don't even talk about all that racist white and black. No. Look, you'll see me in the hood. It's less white people for me to have to concern myself with. Okay, I got to concern myself with the black man. Make no doubt, the number one issue is black on black Violence. I'll show you that. The places where I go, that's what they do at times. You know, liquor stores, clubs, change their name routinely because of some violence that happened. Look, how much violence do you really want before you recognize that, the school systems, everything is just a failure. Everything is a failure. You can't teach people not to kill. That's the simplest humanitarian act known. Based on the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. They all say the same thing, thou shalt not kill, but you have senseless violence for the simplest of values. The simplest of values. That's what you kill for. Your emotion. Somebody's talking to your lady. That's all. Just talking. And you ready to be violent. Look, I'm here to tell you, if you can't change your ways, don't blame me for having to defend myself. Don't blame me, because this is what the police see in you. They're afraid of you. They know the day of the boxing glove didn't change to the day of the pistol. When we grew up, that's what we did. Like I told you, it was no problem to have to box your way through to survive. But when the scale and everything then raised, that's all y'all know. Let boys fight. Let boys be boys. It's okay. He got a little bloody nose. Let him fight or something. Because you don't have no way of channeling that energy anywhere. No place to channel it. But up in a pistol, any woman can do that. Okay? That's no challenge within a masculinity. You'll pull that thing 100 times and still won't cure your thirst for violence. You won't. You can pop that thing all you want. And you will continue to have that habit of popping it. Okay? You will not cure your thirst for killing. It's too easy. Any child can do it. It's a simple thing, pulling it. But I want you to understand the consequences behind it. That's all. If you can't find the love in the 21st century for your black brother, okay, then you can just stop all that talk about white people. Really, you really should. And I'm going to leave y'all with that. Get your duck in a row. Learn to be brothers. That's what you need to learn to be. Because brothers don't kill each other. I don't even think about killing my brother. Why would I want to do that? You got to learn to be brothers and understand what a brother is. Ain't no way I kill my brother. It's not possible. And I know for a fact he ain't going to kill me. So when I see another black man and he talking about brother, but you use nigger more than you use brother. So, your values are just a little off course. Learn to be brotherly. Find some brotherly love. Why do I have to look at you like I want to do something to you? No, I don't need to look at you like that, man. See, I can look at you the same way and have the same thought in my head without even bringing up the emotion. Trust me, I don't need the emotion to all that. That's what you need. That emotion is something that you really have to control. If you really about that act, especially if you really about that act, you don't need no emotion. None. It has, the act does not have an emotion to it. Believe me, it don't. I'm going to leave y'all. But I come in peace. My path is peace. And y'all need to recognize that. Peace be to you.